Hi guys, my name is Mary, and if the stars have aligned and you have found your way to this video today, I am so truly grateful to have you here. I'm just a makeup and skincare junkie who at 43 decided to stop letting fear control me and start posting YouTube videos. And if you found my channel today, hi, my name is Mary. I am going to be playing with some new makeup and some new to me makeup today. And this is the look that we came up with, which I'm really enjoying. So if you want to see how I got this look, then please just keep on watching. I've got a bunch of goodies here today that I'm super excited to slap on my face. Some of them are new releases and some of them are just new to me. And either way, I'm stoked. I feel like we have such a good spread of stuff here today. So really quickly, let me just go ahead and run through what we're going to be playing with. If you love makeup at all, I'm sure you've heard of BK Beauty. I picked up the Nikki LaRose set, and then I think it was one of the face sets are in here on the big sale that they just had. So I'm going to be using my BK Beauty brushes for the first time. And then also for the eyes, we've got some pretty eyes going on today. Now I have busted into these and used them a couple times, and I really like the way the eye look came out. So we've got the Fenty Beauty Shadow Sticks, the Diamond Bomb one, and this is in shade Champion. And I know that these have been out for a couple months, but I think they just got released at Ulta and I picked mine up. I've got the SmolderEYES by Tarte, and I have mine in the shade Sultry, which is like a bronzy type look. And these are like a two-ended smudge stick. This is the Kosas Soul Gazer mascara, and I also have tried these one out. So for the eye things, I have played with them and I do have thoughts. As far as the lips, I picked up one of these 3D volumizing glosses by Fui. And again, I know that these glosses aren't new releases, but they're new at Ulta, and I just picked mine up because I haven't ever tried anything from the brand Fui, and I did go with the 70%. They have like a 30% and a 70%, and I picked mine up in the shade Scotch. I also have the Juvia's Place new liquid bronzer, the Morphe Brow Tease, which I think might be a couple months old but new to me, and I am looking for a good tinted brow gel that I love, and the Sashu Liquid Glow Stain. Now, I've had hit and miss with this brand. The Sashu, I love their peel-off lip stain. I love their lip gloss. I was not a fan of their contour stain. So we'll see how it goes with the liquid highlighter. The Ordinary has a new sunscreen that we're going to try out because I love The Ordinary. And I was really tempted to go for the Rare Beauty fragrance. I wanted to try it out, but I was like, Mary, you have enough like caramel sweet type of fragrances. So I went on the other end of the spectrum, and we're gonna go ahead and try out the Flora Mrs. Smith, which is like a green apple scent. And I thought, you know, summer isn't over yet. I feel like fruity, you know, can still be a vibe. So we're gonna go with that and try to veer away from like my Star Crunch and caramel obsession that I've had lately. And I think that's everything that we're going to be playing with today. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it and see what kind of look we come up with all of these new goodies. Okay, so first up we have the Ordinary's sunscreen, and this is the Ordinary Suns Care Sunscreen UV Filters SPF 45 Serum, which 45 is good. I'm digging the 45. All right, so I went ahead and hopped on the Sephora website to kind of see what it says about the Ordinary sunscreen. And it says it's a broad spectrum sunscreen that hydrates, protects against sun damage, and leaves the skin looking luminous without clogging pores. It's for normal, dry, combination, and oily skin. So pretty much anybody, it says, can use this. So far, it's got really good reviews, coming up at 4.7 with 196 reviews. This does retail for $19, which for the Ordinary is a little bit up there. They do, for some of their skincare items, kind of go up to like $30 and stuff, but that's a little pricey for a sunscreen. And it's a 2-ounce bottle. It's fragrance-free, non-comedogenic, so it's not going to break you out. It says it hydrates, protects, and leaves the skin looking luminous without clogging the pores. So let's go ahead. I'm going to give it a shake. So it's a white serum. It's not clear. I don't know why I was expecting it to be clear, but it's like a thicker serum. It blends in really nicely. Now, I will say that you're gonna have to do, you know, a couple pumps to get your full sunscreen that you're needing. With something like a serum, I don't think it's gonna be as easy to do, you know, the 2-finger method. Okay, and while that's sinking in a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and bust open my BK Beauty box. I was so excited when this showed up. I have been waiting to use them to do this video. Now, when I tell you, this is one of those things that like I have thought about purchasing for a really long time. I was like, I feel like my makeup comes out fine. Why, you know, I don't really need to get a set of brushes. But then they had that huge like 30% off sale. Okay, so anyways, there she is. I won't bore you with like an unboxing or anything like that. But for me, I'm excited to open these up. The Nikki LaRose set. This is what I'm like super excited for. And then I did get the 3 brushes on the side. I thought I was supposed to get like a free brush. Confused by that. Oh wait, here it is. It's in the box. Okay, so yeah, because it said like if you spent a certain amount that you got a free brush. So I bought the 3-pack of set, and then it came with like the Angie Hot and Flashy like concealer brush. Okay. Anyway, okay, so for foundation, we're going to be using our BK 101, which I cannot believe I'm saying that. All the times I have seen people talk about how much they love this foundation brush. And so far, it does feel really nice. Okay. By appearances and feel, the brush is not disappointing. So let's go ahead and use her and see how our foundation comes out. Now, I don't have a new foundation to play with, so I am just going to be using a cocktail that I've really been loving this summer, which is the CoverGirl Blur Tint, and I mix it with a little bit of my House Labs white foundation because this is a little bit too dark for me. I have mine in the shade 430 medium neutral, and it does just pull a little too dark. So I take a little bit of that, just mix them a little bit. I want to test this sunscreen and see if it pills or if it plays funny with makeup, so I'm gonna skip the primer for today. I think we have a decent match. I think that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I really have been loving these two together. Oh, okay, it's time to try the brush. So let's go in with the brush, guys. She's so soft. She's soft, but also very dense. This is nice. This is a nice brush. I know it's like silly to be excited about a makeup brush, but like I have literally thought about, oh my gosh, it's so soft. Okay. Wow, and it's spreading the foundation really nicely. It's also a really nice size, so like it's doing things fairly quickly. Wow, this brush is nice. This brush is really nice. Okay, so next up I want to go ahead and test out the Angie Hot and Flashy 106 concealer brush, which has like a cult following at this point. And I'm going to be using the RMS Uncover Up Concealer, which is not new, but it's somewhat new to me, and I've really been loving this concealer. I've been using it for a couple weeks now. It works really nicely under the eyes as long as you keep a very thin layer. I would say this is definitely over 40 friendly. Now, I won't say that this concealer does well for me for like covering up my dark spots completely, but I'm not one that really tries to cover my dark spots. You know, I'm not trying to go for full coverage. But I would say if you are looking for something for that, I did test it out and try to do that, and it wears away really quickly. So it's not like a good cover up concealer. Like I could definitely see my dark spots poking through. I have not tried it with this brush though, so let's go ahead and try it with the Angie Hot and Flashy brush. And I would say this is a little bit bigger than any concealer brush that I already own. I have like the Rare Beauty, the Sephora one. It feels really nice. Like, I think they call it like kitten paw or something like that. It does feel really, really nice, like under your eyes. Like it's just kind of like, it's pleasant to use. It's not scratchy at all. I do like the way that it's spreading as well. I'd be interested too. I will over time obviously be testing this with a liquid concealer and not a pot concealer, but it is working well with the pot concealer. So I'm just gonna tap. I'm liking these brushes so far. These brushes are 100% worth it. And I feel really lucky to have gotten them on the sale, because it was a pretty decent sale. It wasn't like 20% off. It was like 30% off, I think. So I'm just gonna put these, and then I'll show you, like, I'll put a little bit on my dark spot here just for the sake of testing out the brush. And wow, it does cover pretty nicely and share it out as well. You can still see it poking through, but that's a really nice concealer brush. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit in the center here, and then we'll call it a day for the concealer. Okay, so really, really liking that. Now I need to like look into this brush set and see what brush I want to use for this Juvia's Place liquid bronzer. So pretty, and I love that she just went with the simple black. Like, that is so my vibe. I love it. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with this kind of the NC-17. Am I picking the right brush? Sure. Okay. No, we're gonna go with the NC-17. We're gonna go with the NC-17. This is the Juvia's Place liquid bronzer, and I picked up mine in the shade Biscotti. So that's what she looks like. And I do tend to go a little bit more subtle with my bronzers, so I didn't go too dark. She's got like a little doe foot. And let me swatch her just so we can see what she looks like. And let's go in. And I don't know how quickly it dries, so I'm going to go ahead and just put a couple dots and start blending it in. And we'll see what happens. I think I'm going to go with this side for the cream. It is very pigmented, so I'm going to go ahead and just start blending it out so I don't end up with like a big bronzer streak. I would say that this is like flatter than I'm used to for something to do this with, but it does work nicely. It's strange. It's a strange like shape though. It's very thin. And I believe this is also what she uses for foundation, if I'm not mistaken. But it is feathering it out very nicely. Like, you can see how it's feathering out that bronzer really, really nicely. And I'm going to go in with just a touch more, like around here, and a tiny bit down here. It's so nice. All the brushes feel super soft on the skin. They're very, very nice. Make sure I get that up into my hairline a little bit, because my scalp is really fair. My scalp is really, really fair skinned, and so I try to like just make sure I blend it at least a little bit into my hairline. Okay, so we've got bronzer on this side, and we have not bronzed up on this side yet. It's a little on the reddish side for me, but lately I've been kind of leaning into a little bit more of a red toned bronzer. It doesn't seem to dry too quickly, so I'm gonna go ahead and just plop on what I'm gonna use. Okay, so I did go ahead and throw on a little bit of my Kulfi concealer because it's a little bit lighter, and I just thought it would kind of help to balance it out a little bit because I did go overboard with the bronzer. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go in with the Sashu Liquid Glow Stay-In, and I got mine in the shade 03 Sunbeam. It's quite a substantial sized bottle, and this is one of those multi-use highlighters. You can use it to mix with your foundation. You can put it on top of your foundation. I'm gonna go in with a little bit on my fingers. That's what I'm gonna do first. It's very subtle. Now I will probably go ahead and top off a little bit more of this on top of the powder, but before I put any powder, I wanted to see how it plays with the cream products. I like the fact that it's not glittery, it's not shimmery. It's kind of just, but I'm almost wondering, like, is it too subtle? Is it too subtle? If it's like super, super subtle on the cheeks like that, then it probably would work really good mixing with the foundation so it doesn't make you go Tin Man. But it is coming up really subtle on the cheeks. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw some powder on real quick. Now, this is not new. This is, again, just something that I have been using for the last couple of weeks and really enjoying. Now, I will say this RMS, I think it's the Hydra powder. Yeah, it's the RMS Beauty Hydra Setting Powder in medium is the one I have. And what I will say about this powder, now this is not a powder that you're gonna reach for if you're going for like a full beat. If you're going out, you know, going out for the night and you want full glam, this is not your gal. I would not suggest the RMS powder for that. This is more so a very lightweight, you know, very, very, very light coverage. I wouldn't even really much use the word coverage for this, but it's just a very, very lightweight sheer powder. And it also gives you a very, like I understand why they call it a Hydra powder, because it's not mattifying. It's more of a like very satin finish. And so this is more of a like, I like this powder for days that I just want to maybe throw on a little bit of this Uncover Up concealer and powder my face, throw on some mascara, maybe a little shimmer on my lid, and be out the door. That's the kind of powder this is. I'm going to go in with the N15, which is the Precision Medium Powder Brush by the Nikki Rose set. And I'm just going to swirl some of this in here. It's kind of a smaller powder brush for me, but I don't mind it at all. So I'm just going to not totally avoid that highlighter, but not try to like go right on top of it. And if you see, so this powder is very, very satin finish. So for anyone that likes like glowy makeup, dewy makeup, this powder is definitely up your alley. I love the way this brush feels on my skin. I really do. And I'm not minding this smaller powder brush. Because it's a smaller powder brush and it'll be really good for blush, things like that. But so far I would say I think our complexion is looking pretty good. So let's get to some of the fun stuff. Let's go ahead and jump in to the eyes. Nikki, which one is this? This is the Nikki N13 Pro Blender Brush. Just for something for the crease, I'm going to go ahead and go into my Makeup by Mario Neutrals palette. Go in with this guy right here. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of that on my crease real quick. Take this brush for a spin. always tapping off because the Makeup by Mario shadows are amazing, but they definitely have fallout like any powder would. Anyway, that's my thoughts on fallout is powder is gonna have fallout. That's just my personal opinion. Just top off your brush. These are very, very lightweight. I would say there's not much weight to these brushes, which makes it easier to do your makeup, but you know, they're definitely not like substantially weighted brushes. The foundation brush definitely has much more of a weight to the handle. The Nikki LaRose Blacks, I feel like, is much lighter weight. No, I think maybe it's just the eye brush. Listen to me. So I'm just gonna... This is feathering out in my crease like really, really fast. It's just perfect, just blending it out perfectly. Definition in our crease. Now, for the fun part, we're gonna jump in with that Fenty shadow stick. Now, I am like a wet look eyeshadow lover. I collect them. I actually about cried because I have been saving up. Nobody cares but me, but I've been saving up, like I've been building up a bunch of clips of whenever I have my wet look eyeshadows on, and I was saving them up and I was doing all these clips to try to make a wet look eyeshadow video, and they just completely disappeared on the computer. And I'm like mourning the loss. It was like 30 clips. I mean, it was just a couple months of me collecting and saving and filming clips along the way. So I'm pretty sad about that. But I will start over and hopefully still do the wet look eyeshadow video if I'm not too depressed. Okay, so this is the Fenty Beauty Shadow Sticks Diamond Veil, and I got mine in the shade Champion, which is like this goldy bronzy shade, which, ooh, that's pretty. We're gonna get up close so we can see just how pretty this is, because it's super pretty and it just glides right on. You see that? Like it just glides right on. Really smooth. And then I just like to like pat it in a little bit. Make sure that it's smooth all the way. Don't watch me tug my eyes. Like that's how quick and simple to throw that shadow stick on. And it lasts all day. It is a really good one. I think let me build this up a little bit more because I like me some shimmer. Okay, next we're gonna go in with the Tarte SmolderEYES, and it's a two-sided pencil. So on one side you've got your smudge crayon, and the other side you have your smudger. And it also does come with a sharpener. So it comes with its own sharpener, so which is the perfect size for this, because sometimes with these chubby pencils you end up stuck with these chubby pencils and nothing to sharpen them with. So I appreciate that it does come with that sharpener. And I will say with these, now I have played with these, I love the shade of this, I love the way the two of these look together, but this is a very quick drying. So it's like you want to kind of get it on there, and if you want to smudge, smudge. Like get your smudge on real quickly. If you're not worried about smudging it and you're just using it as a liner, don't worry, perfect your liner. But if you want to smudge it out, work quickly. So I'm just gonna throw that on like that, and then flip it around and like feather it in a little bit. Just so it's not as harsh. But as you can see, it's already set down quite a bit. I'm just gonna smudge it in, but I really like the way the two of these look together. Okay, and then I also like to take it down to the bottom, and I will, again, don't want you to tug my eyes, but I will like just do a little bit on that bottom lash line. And then again with the smudge side, and just smudge it out quickly. These are like the easiest. Like if you want a quick eye, these two will give you a quick eye, a 5-minute eye, like not even. Ooh. Now, just to kind of finish it off, I'm gonna go in back with something just a little bit darker, this one, and kind of go on the outside and blend it upwards a little bit. And as long as you don't layer up that Fenty shadow stick too much, it's not gonna flake or act up when you try to like blend a little bit of powder shadow with it. If you go too heavy, if you put too many layers of it, then it is gonna flake if you try to come back and blend any powders above it. So, this is like a very kind of quick sultry eye. We're gonna go in with our Kosas Soul Gazer mascara. Now for this mascara, I would give this mascara like a solid 7. I'm not gonna say this is gonna give you the lashes of your life, but it's a decent mascara. Again, it's a good mascara for like an everyday mascara. If you're going for drama, not gonna be the mascara I would reach for. This isn't gonna give you the best of curl because I have pretty straight lashes and it's not giving me massive curl. It does give, I'd say, a decent amount of length. You're not going full volume here, you're going slight volume. It's nice, it accentuates your lashes, but if you want something dramatic, you know, reach for a different mascara. These Hourglass ones, I think the reason that they work so well for mascara is because that inner part that kind of dips in is nice for like the rounder part of your eye. It gives that rounded part of your eye like somewhere to sit, and then as the brush bows back out, it's getting those lashes that kind of go back a little bit further on your eye. And I feel like that's why I always tend to like these brushes. Let's see if we can get up closer and show this mascara a little bit better. We've got one good coat on there, and then this is the side with nothing. So you see what I mean? It's not like whoosh, like you're not gonna fly away with these lashes, but it's giving you a little bit of volume, a little bit of length, and it's definitely making them blacker. I went ahead and finished up my mascara, and we're going to go ahead and do our brows. And we've got this Morphe Brow Tease, and I got mine in the shade Java. It actually reminds me a lot of the packaging of the Elf Wow Brow, if you've ever tried that. Here's the wand. It's a very interesting shape. And then with brow gels, especially new brow gel, I always make sure I wipe it off almost completely, otherwise you're just asking for trouble. And then I'm gonna go in, I'm just gonna go for it. Now, my brows, if I can get a decent, oh, they need to be trimmed. If I can get a decent tinted brow gel, I can get away with just using the brow gel. Especially for every day. I have really bald tails. I blessed my daughter with bald eyebrow tails too. She loves me for that. See, one brow done, the other brow with nothing. I feel like that shade is pretty nice. And they are giving me, you know, just a little bit of something, something. Nothing too crazy. But I like this. I went with Java. I didn't want to go with black because sometimes I feel like black will like pulls too much. But this Java almost comes as black. It's a deep enough brown, so I feel like the color is working pretty well. And then for our lips, we've got this 3D volumizing gloss by Fui. Totally fallen down the K-beauty rabbit hole. I have mentioned that in my other videos that I I got obsessed with Asian skincare, and then I dove in and I ordered from Yes Style some of the Asian beauty, and a lot of those products are just really, really nice, and they're so affordable. Now, I would say that Fui is kind of up there for an Asian beauty brand, but the packaging is super cute, and I was just really intrigued by it. It looks red in the camera, but it's not red. It's more of it's like a terracotta color, but it does look like it's coming up red in the camera. And I'm not going to put a lip liner or anything. I just wanted to see how this gloss worked on its own. It's got a little doe foot here. Yeah, let's just see how she works all by herself. Ooh, it's very smooth. So there's the color. Very pigmented, because I have very pigmented lips. That's why I went with the 70%, because I'm like 30% is not, you know, really on me gonna mean much. Ugh. This is really smooth. It just, oh my God. I recently picked up the Rare Beauty Luminizing Gloss, and this feels very similar to that, but dare I say smoother? Okay, maybe they're like equally as smooth. I don't know, but this is, and it is giving me juicy. It's definitely giving me juicy. I'm gonna go in my Hourglass palette, and I'll go in with this peachy blush so we don't do anything too crazy. It's very light. I don't want anything crazy. I wasn't gonna do any blush at all, but I think we need a little something. Okay, and then let's try one more time with that liquid highlighter by Stain and see if we can get it to just give us a little more now that we're on the top of the powder. Let's see if we can just get it to give us a little something more. Just a little. We don't need to move mountains, but yeah, it's still just not doing very much. I guess this is just, you know, something that maybe to mix into your foundation. It's definitely not something that I think I would use even for a subtle highlighter. I feel like we're seeing more of the sheen from the blush now than we are because those Hourglass blushes do have a bit of a sheen to them. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of this Dior highlighter, and I'm going to use the gold one, because yeah, that shoe stain is just not giving it to me. I'm not gonna go ham, but I do want a little bit of a glow. I almost forgot, we can't finish off without trying out the new Fleur Mrs. Smith scent. You know, we've got to smell good for the day, so I'm really hoping this is a good one. Yeah, straight up apple. My husband is still like, always I'm picking with stuff that like makes me want to, you know, makes me smell like something that you want to eat. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just in my like edible fragrance stage. I don't know. Okay, so this is very fruity, very strong on the apple, very crisp. Kind of exactly what I was expecting. I didn't know if it was going to go more like Jolly Rancher, like the sweetie apple, or more like the crisp, tangy apple. And I feel like this is definitely more like the crisp, tangy apple. It's not overly sweet. Ooh, it's nice. I like it. And it's strong enough that you can smell it, but it's not like, it's not overpowering. I really like that. So I like that about Fleur's scents, you know? I feel like they do the right amount of strength in their body sprays. Let's go ahead and talk about everything that we tried out today, and I'll just give you really quickly my thoughts on everything. Like I said before, the RMS powder and the RMS Uncover Up Concealer, I have been using for a couple weeks now, and I just wanted to use them today because I've really been enjoying both. I think that this is a pretty good concealer. As long as you stay in thin layers, this is pretty good. I wouldn't use it for spot concealing, but it works really, really good. And you can also use it all over your face. And then the RMS powder, it's a wonderful powder. If you're looking for something with coverage, I wouldn't go for this. And if you're looking for something super mattifying, I wouldn't go for this. This is more of a satin, kind of luminous, dewy look, and it doesn't have coverage in it, but it is going to set you and make your makeup last a little bit longer. The BK Beauty brush set. Now, they're kind of a mess now and whatever, but I'm thoroughly impressed with the brushes. They did not disappoint. I mean, it's a long time coming, but I have been wondering what it would be like to get those brushes in my hands and use them on my face, and I really did enjoy every brush that I used. The eye brush does feel like just a very, very light when you're using it in your hand, but that is like the smallest critique ever. Really, really good quality on the brushes. I would love to get in more with that smudgy one and some more of the eye brushes when I'm doing a more intricate look. But yeah, so the brushes are a definite win, and I'm super happy that I picked those up during the sale. This Ordinary sunscreen, it's a nice sunscreen. Really absorbed quickly, and it doesn't leave any sort of weird feeling to the face. So far I am enjoying this. I would say that I feel like the Ordinary is kind of like creeping up there with e.l.f., like where everything is just getting more expensive, because for a little sunscreen by the Ordinary, I kind of would have expected more like $10. This liquid highlighter by their Sashu. So this might be joining with the Stay-In Contour Stain. Just that one didn't work out for me. This, I feel like it's a multi-use, so I should be able to use it for multiple things, not only just stick it in my foundation if I'm going to do that day. I would like to be able to use this as an actual highlighter, and until I threw on a little bit of the Dior highlighter, I wasn't really feeling highlighted. So yeah, I'm not such a big fan. This Juvia's Place liquid contour, just go easy-handed. I think when it worked and blended so easily on the first side, I went a little too ham on the other side, and then I had to work to kind of backtrack, but it is really nice. I don't mind the reddish tone to it. Once everything is done and pulled together, I feel as though it works well. It's not making me look, you know, too orangey. Yeah, and it blended out really, really nicely. So this is a definite winner. As far as the eyes go, I love this combination. The SmolderEYES, this is the only color I have of this, but I feel like it's just a very wearable, a very everyday, like for me to do a quick eye look. I absolutely love these two together. It's just quick, easy, simple, lasts all day. They're both winners in my opinion. This Kosas mascara, again, it's a good mascara. It's just not, if, you know, I call them the flyaway lashes, because it's like if I want my lashes to lash, you know, then this is not the mascara that I would reach for, but this is a really nice everyday mascara. I would say if you're looking for something to give you like a full-on curl, don't reach for this one. It does give a bit of length, a small amount of volume, and keeps them pretty feathery. So it's a nice everyday mascara. This Morphe brow gel, I honestly really, really like. I recently tried, I think it was one by e.l.f. It wasn't the Wow Brow, because I have that one, but it was a different brow gel by e.l.f. that I tried in my full face of e.l.f. video, and that one didn't really do what I needed it to do. And I feel like this one is doing what I need it to do. I want a tinted brow gel that I can just use this and nothing else on a day when I'm, like, again, not going for like full perfected makeup. Like, I just want to look cute for the day and be out the door. This is really nice. This floor scent, like I said, it smells really good. I don't know how long it lasts because I just sprayed it, but it is, you know, it's strong enough but not overpowering, and it's not really, really sweet. So if you're looking for something on the sweeter apple side, I wouldn't go for this one. This one is more tart and a very crisp, kind of tangy, if you can have a tangy. Yeah, like crisp, you know, tart apples, like, because Granny Smith, you know, the green ones. That makes sense, Mary. So that was everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have a quick moment to like, comment, or subscribe, I would truly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.